ILove Oils TV. This is where you can come to learn about how to use essential oils to improve your health and the health of those that you love. You can also discover how to replace toxic chemical cleaning products and personal care products with homemade items using essential oils and other natural ingredients. We offer free online essential oil classes, both recorded and live. On today's program, we have a very special guest, Judith Richey. She is a mother of 5 children and is a health and wellness lifestyle coach. She specializes in working with mature women who are looking to reinvigorate their lives. She takes a holistic approach to what she does, and she recommends essential oils to her clients. Judith had a successful career in the corporate world, but she hated her job. She hit an emotional wall and knew she needed to make a change in her life. She gave up her position in corporate America and took her life in a new direction. Judith, I want to welcome you to ILove Oils TV, and I want to thank you for being on the program today. Would you share with our viewers and listeners your story and how you got to where you are today?
Well, thank you, Alan. I want to say thank you for having me on your program. I love being able to share the message of being able to bounce back after burnout and rebirthing yourself after burnout with women and men, and let them know that it is possible to reinvent yourself and have a very wonderful life. Your description was very accurate. I was in corporate America, very successful by all the means that we measure success in our world, making lots and lots of money, winning trips around the world, all the corporate awards, and I absolutely was miserable. And I realized that most of the major decisions that had come about in my life were not decisions that I really made for me, but were circumstantial. Moves, divorce, new careers, all those things were tied to other people's dreams and passions and not mine. And when I started analyzing what I really wanted out of life, I realized that I needed to follow my own passions. And after I had my burnout from corporate America, I sat what I considered in the ashes for about 6 months. The phoenix bird is a bird that actually burns up and then rebirths itself from the ashes. And you can call it bouncing back after burnout, you can call it rebirthing, you can call it reinventing yourself, whatever term you want to put on it. I did that. And it took me about 6 months to figure out what it was I really wanted to be doing with my life. So I looked around and looked at the talents, the God-given talents that I had. I'd actually done some talent assessment, gift assessment, and realized that my real heart was with helping people. So I looked at my situation and realized that there were lots of women in particular, but sometimes men, who needed emotional guidance, help, healing, support, encouragement. And when I went through my situation, I really didn't have any of that. I mean, there were well-meaning friends who really didn't know what to do to help me. Therapy wasn't something I was really interested in. I have my opinions about that in their minds, so I won't share them too broadly. But I found a way to start healing through natural and holistic methods, and that was through changing my lifestyle. So part of that process was the fact that my youngest daughter, who's now 16 and a junior in high school, she was in 5th grade at the time, we discovered she had dyslexia and ADD. And my husband and I are pretty bright, snappy, educated folks, and it was very distressing to us that we had a child with a learning disability that hadn't been identified for so many years. So I became curious about helping people with learning disabilities. I went back to school and got my master's. I started looking into natural methods to help kids with learning disabilities and with ADD, and I discovered a company that was doing amazing things in the area of helping children with learning disabilities and with behavioral issues, learning disabilities, those types of things. That led me to discovering essential oils. And the more I have learned about essential oils, the more amazed I am at their healing properties. And so everything has kind of joined together to create what I've created, my coaching business, which is called Get Your Sexy Back Coaching. And I help women like me who have hit a wall, who don't feel like they have encouragement and support, who really don't know what they want to do to transition to the next phase of their life. And I've incorporated the oils and the healing properties of the oils into my coaching for them. So that's kind of my story about how I've gotten to where I am.
Okay, why don't you share with our viewers and listeners the types of services that you offer? If a person were to contact you, what type of an assessment would you do with that person?
That's a great question. People have different needs. I'll just talk to you about something that's happening real time. This afternoon, I'm doing a coaching session with a new client who has gone through some great upheaval in her life. She found that she had an addiction and sought help for that and has had to change careers, jobs. She's changed cities. She's changed partners. She's just had a lot of transition in her life, and things are not exactly where she wants them to be. So what we're going to do is we're going to explore what the blockages are from her life that are preventing her from going forward with the passion that she would like to have. So that's one type of person. That's kind of where I think you would have found me, minus the addiction part. And then I have another intake today with some new clients who have a son who's 9 years old, and he has severe behavioral issues, and they are very determined to not use pharmaceuticals to medicate him. So I'll be coaching them through using all-natural, holistic lifestyle changes, diet, particularly with children with learning disabilities and with behavioral issues. We'll be looking at adding essential oils in and using the properties of the healing properties for them to help him calm down, to help his brain slow down a little bit, to help him be able to handle his anxiety, and to help him get some sleep so that he's a calmer, more focused child. So those are just some examples of the types of clients that I work with. My process is sitting down and doing an hour assessment with my potential clients and seeing what their needs are, and then developing an individualized protocol for them.
Okay, you mentioned the term blockage. Would you expound on that? What is a blockage, and how do you address blockages that you discover when you talk with your clients?
Sometimes people don't even realize that the fact that they're stuck is because of a blockage of some type. Usually they're emotional blockages. Sometimes they're physical. We are mind, body, and spirit all together. And so whether it's emotional or physical, it affects all of us, and it affects all areas of our lives. Our relationships are affected. Our general physical health is affected. Our emotional health is affected. And those things may come from something as simple as a ugly comment that a teacher or another adult or a child may have made to you when you were a child, and you have hung on to that comment, and you hear that comment repeated over and over in your head. And so instead of embracing who you are or who you're meant to be, you see yourself in your mind's eye as that person that that ugly comment was made about. And that may have just been a small thing that somebody made and doesn't even remember. And that can cause you to have anxiety. It can cause you to have low self-esteem. You may not believe in yourself and be able to embrace everything that your life could be. Those blockages could come from the fact that you're not conducting your lifestyle in a healthy way. You might not be eating correctly. And I'll just take a very common problem. There's a food list. One of them are very acidic foods, and one of them are alkaline foods. And if you're not familiar with it, I encourage you to go Google alkaline and acidic foods. Acidic foods can cause much harm to your body, and they can cause, let's talk about the gut for a minute, because a lot of your emotions are tied to your gut. And so if you're eating highly acidic foods and you've created a leaky gut syndrome, or you have IBS, or you have some type of colitis or diverticulitis, all those are diet related. But all of those conditions end up having emotional effects on you. And you may not realize that the fact that you're stuck in your job, or that you're having bad relationships, or that you don't feel good about yourself, that you meet every day with anxiety and fear, you may not realize that those are simply issues that can be solved by dietary changes. So that's kind of where I'm going with when I talk about blockages. They can be both emotional and physical.
Okay, Judith, how do you use the essential oils? Sounds like you're taking, again, a holistic approach. You're looking at the entire individual in their entirety. Give us an example of how you use the essential oils with your clients.
Well, again, a great question, and I'm sure the folks who are watching this are very familiar with the properties of essential oils, and know that essential oils can be used three different ways. They can be used aromatically with aromatherapy, and you can use them just simply by dropping an oil in your hand, rubbing your hand together, placing it over your nose, and inhaling that oil, and that's an aromatherapy technique for using oils. You can use a diffuser. There's lots of different types of diffusers. And there are many healing properties using just simple aromatherapy. You can use oils topically. Most of the time we recommend that you use them with a fractionated coconut oil, and you may want to layer some oils topically, or you can ingest them only if they're a certified pure therapeutic grade oil, so you need to be very careful about that. And of course we recommend only using certified pure therapeutic grade oils if you're ingesting them. So let's say I have someone who comes to me and they are dealing with fear. Well, two of the oils that you can use to help with fear are Roman chamomile and cinnamon. So in a session where we're talking about the fear that they have of letting go of the past, of moving forward, of embracing life, we may diffuse cinnamon in that session. And then one of the things I would recommend to them is to use Roman chamomile at night on the reflexology points of their feet to help them work on that fear that's happening in their brain and release that fear. Part of the healing process with oils is the fact that first you have to recognize that you have an emotion that you need to address. Then you have to be willing to release it. And some people have a hard time getting to that willing to release the emotion part because they've lived with it so long, it defines who they are. And when they release it, they don't have that to rely on anymore. So then they have to be willing to release it, to embrace what's coming next. And that embracing part is receiving a different kind of you. And like I talked about at the beginning, rebirthing or reinventing yourself. Sometimes that's a scary process, but that's how we work together to get past that scaredness and release that and embrace the new part. The oils play a big part of that.
Judith, if somebody wanted to avail themselves of your services, how would they contact you?
Several different ways. I have a website. It's kind of long, but it's kind of catchy, so you should be able to remember it. It's www.getyoursexybackcoaching.com. And when I say get your sexy back, I am not talking about learning all of the pages of the Kama Sutra, but what I am talking about is getting your confidence back, getting your self-confidence back, getting to know who you are, learning where your passions are, and being excited about following those. Then my phone number is 832-603-2879. You can call me. You can find me on Google+. You can find me on LinkedIn. And I also have a Facebook page, Get Your Sexy Back Coaching on Facebook.
Great. Judith, I want to thank you for being on our program today. I think it's fascinating the different ways that people use essential oils, and you're very specialized. And so I really appreciate you sharing your knowledge and your background with us. I want to encourage you, if you enjoyed this program today, to like and share it. And also you can go to my Facebook page, Power of Essential Oils, for this interview and other information on essential oils. So Judith, I want to thank you again for appearing on our program today.
Alan, thank you so much for having me. I hope you found the information beneficial, and I hope your viewers will too.
Great. Thank you again, and to all you listeners, I want to say have a good day, and I'm signing off for now.